What time is it?
Ask your
auntie. Who's got it this week?
Got Aaliyah going on.
All right, I'll do it. Hey, aunties, what are some rituals you do before going on a date? I'm getting back into the dating scene, and I may be a little bit rusty.
Ooh, honey.
Hopefully that rust is interesting.
I'm hella rusty.
Right, because, it's been a minute for you and me, so
girl.
Let's kick it over to Landy. Come
right.
on, honey. What's your what rituals do you have?
Yeah, so you're about to go on like your little first date. Right.
Reading the tea leaves.
I'm gonna this box is gonna be right.
Wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass. I know that's right.
The box is gonna be right, front and back. In all seriousness, I this is gonna sound so silly. So they're on the Crest white strips, brush my teeth, all of that. Gotta have a nice fade going on.
Okay.
Make sure the earrings are in. Deodorant.
Yes, ma'am.
Deodorant. Nothing sucks more than a smelly date.
Unless you're into that.
That's true too.
Unless you're into that, which that is not me. It's the little things, and I'm not trying to be a perfectionist, but more of just like, you want to put your best foot forward. It's almost like a job interview, So, like I said, this box is going to be right and tight. These teeth are going to be pearly white.
She pulled out the mirror and the tweezers.
She's dropping bars. She said, this box gonna be tight. These teeth pearly white. I know that's right. Drop these bars.
This hair is gonna be on point.
Get the edges together.
The edges are gonna be together.
Is there something so like you're set up on the date? Do you like Facebook them first? Do you like try to like get a little tea on their history, or you just kind of go in there open and willing to whatever they hear?
I think the natural thing is to do a little bit of social media stalking, if that's what you want to call it. I'll never forget, this is in 2010, 2011, and I'll put my shit out there. I met this dude at a bar at BS West in Scottsdale, and I never go up to guys. I probably should, but I went up to him and I was just like, hey, you're really hot. He's a redhead, gorgeous.
Okay.
And so we talked, and I said, I'm in town. I'll be back a couple weeks. Would love to take you to dinner. Okay, so we go to dinner. We get there, and he's like, yeah, you've got, you did this on that one website, and all of this. And I was like, yes. And he's like, and you do this. And I was like, I'm sorry. So I think the natural thing is to do a little bit of Facebook,
snooping, investigating.
But was it awkward that he brought that up? Like, is it kind of one of those things like you do the snooping? Because I'm trying to recall like what I even did. But you do the snooping, but you kind of don't bring it up because that makes it creepy.
I didn't realize that shit was public on my Facebook at the time.
Okay.
So that is why I was just like confused. I was like, okay. And we had a mutual friend, and at the time, the settings allowed you to kind of like
your friends.
Yeah. So I would say it's really just a little bitty things. This breath is gonna be fresh. I don't want to be that date that's known for bad breath. Like I said, just the little things. If I know I'm going out on a date, I'm not getting off for a good 2 days.
Really?
So you getting that build up? You're going. It's like you're gonna get this. You're gonna get this good load.
You gonna get. You gonna get all these kids. You gonna get all.
Not the whole elementary school.
Oh, girl. Every classroom.
Honey, you gonna get the after day, at the after school. Okay.
Not the latchkeys. Not the latchkeys.
You gonna get the after school program. You gonna get detention. You gonna get these kids in detention. Okay.
Done. I know that's right.
If I know I'm going on a date, I'm not getting off for a good 2 to 3 days.
Because like, so you go in automatically knowing, okay, we're going to smash.
I just want to be prepared because God forbid you go into a date and you actually get to smashing and you're shooting blanks.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wait, who's shooting blanks on a date?
Yeah.
If you got off that day,
so you want to give them the good load. You don't want to give them the second and third load.
Yeah, no, I don't want no sloppy seconds. You don't get the first one.
That's funny. Dewan, was there anything that you used to do before dates? Like that you like was it a ritual? Like I don't know if there was like a standard procedure outside of like cleanliness and things like that, but
I can't honestly, like I didn't really have any real ritual. You know, like you know, same, like you want to look your best if you're going on a date, and what I'm looking at this as less of a hookup as more of like a date. So to me that means we've like talked for a little bit or whatever, you know, and then we've made an appointment to actually go on a date, a proper date. But things that I do prior to that, I'm not waiting 2 days to, you know, shoot a load. Sorry, I might pop one off in the morning.
Be ready by that night.
Be ready by that afternoon. Like, you know, like, I just you said shooting blanks. I was like, what is that?
It's like, where they do that at?
I don't know. No, he's gonna get all these grandkids on it. He's gonna get all.
I mean, I've had a situation where, you know, it wasn't like getting hard or whatever, but like once it gets hard, it's getting off. There. Like it's
mighty like oak.
Nope. The eggs and the shaft are completely connected. So
not the eggs and the shaft. The eggs in the bacon hole. I know that's right.
If you start getting some action, something's gonna pop off. But in terms of rituals, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm really curious about where the question is coming from, because, you know, I think about, you know, like at the end of the day, you know, if you're going on a date, you want to look your best, you want to be your best, you want to show up as your best self for this person and give a good impression of who you are, whatever that means to you, you know. And I can't even imagine, like, you know, it's not like I twirl around 3 times and, you know, like, you know, like make a couple of wishes and, you know, like outside of like getting myself together for whatever the date calls for, if we're going on a dinner date, if we're going on a picnic date, if we're going up to the movies or going out to the bar or whatever, you know, I'm going to do what I need to do to get ready for that. But like ritual, I think you're overthinking it. There's really nothing that you need to do. Just be yourself. And if the person is for you, they'll like you. And if they're not, then, you know,
you have a one night stand and see you later.
Right. And then ask your aunt, send us another, ask your aunties, right, and get ready for the next one. What about you, Carol?
I take a shot.
Oh, do you take a shot?
Okay.
It's been so long that I'm trying to remember. Like,
especially married hoes,
girl. But even at this point, I think, like, say, God forbid, Corey and I break up, or say we try to pull someone into as a third or something. I don't know. I think maybe my comfortability level would probably be a little different now than then, because I think, especially like then I was like in my late 20s, like especially I wasn't as comfortable with myself probably then as I am now. Like you sometimes like you're just like, okay, I want to make sure I say the right thing and this and that. Now I'd probably like, this is me, it is what it is. And I'm not gonna say anything too reckless, that's not how I am, but I think I'd be way more comfortable now to present myself as close to that 100% than I probably did when, like, say I met Corey or the dates back then. And I'm trying to remember, like, was I like nervous or anything? Like, that's what I was just trying to think. I was like, did I like listen to music? Like, I feel like in a lot of times I still listen to music in the shower, but
yeah.
So like, I don't think I did anything above and beyond, but yeah, I made sure everything smelled good. I made sure I might even trimmed up a little bit, you know, made sure the garden ain't too crazy down there. And but yeah, and especially then, even though then I think I still had this kind of things like, oh, I'm gonna be this like total top dude and this bitch. No, you're not.
I see.
It's like, because if you want to get smashed, girl. Yes. But I would present as like this top guy, but then I would always make sure my box was clean too. So it's just like, so I think there was just stuff that I was probably still dealing with then that now wouldn't even be in my thought process at all, you know?
I clean my house, like
Do
my
you?
apartment.
Yes.
I would
Oh,
clean my apartment. I would,
Yeah.
in anticipation that, oh, well, if this goes where it can go,
Yeah.
because I usually like to host.
Okay.
So I was one of those.
The flip
girls.
side of that, if the date did not go well, I want a nice home to come to. Like, oh man, the date didn't go well. At least my apartment is clean. At least my home is clean. I can just be here.
Not the condolence,
right?
Okay?
Not the condolence prize.
Right? Okay. Be ready so you don't have to get ready. So, you know, but I would say listening to music, that was one. Listening to like my favorite music, not to necessarily get me jazzed up, like hyped up, but just more, if anything, kind of like, if I'm nervous, come on down and just kind of like get into myself a little bit more. Like, you know, I listen to Aaliyah all day.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll listen to that album and just, you know, loosen up and just relax. But, you know, when you hear a song that like really gets you, like you just love that song, it puts you in a good mood. So I would say definitely cleaning my place for either or. And listening to, you know, some of my favorite playlists, my favorite music.
Yeah, I agree with you too, Dwan. You said something where it's just like, just don't overthink it. Be yourself, enjoy it. You know, even if you get the vibes are like, I'm not really that into it, it's not going to be what it is. Still enjoy the moment. You know, it could become a friend. It could be, you know, especially in the gay scene, you never know when you're going to see somebody again. But it's just like, at least enjoy it. Don't like feel too down. Like, I guess maybe don't feel too high, don't feel too low. Just like, if it does go good, communicate after, be like, hey, I enjoyed the date. When do you want to meet up again? I mean, they might be already coming over. So, you know, I don't think I got too high or too low. Even like with Corey, that date, I do remember thinking, wow, that was a really good date. Like, I enjoyed myself. Wow. But I don't think I allowed myself to get too high, because you're just like swinging from the chandelier, like, oh, throwing your hat, like, oh, I'm in love. It's like, no, I'm not that. At least I'm not that kind of person.
Like Eddie Murphy coming home from his date with Lisa.
Exactly.
To be loved, oh, what a feeling to be loved.
When he scream out the window, right?
Yes,
Fuck you too. So yeah,
I do feel like
going back to
like the whole notion that like going back to the whole notion of like being rusty. I do feel like the rules of engagement have changed. Like, I would imagine that dating nowadays is vastly different, because it's not as formal as what it used to be. You know. And
maybe even especially since COVID too. I'm sure that he's even thrown a little rust and craziness into it.
Yeah. So, you know, like that notion of like having to kind of do certain things, like, oh, you know, I'm gonna polish my shoes and, you know, make sure my bow tie is pressed. Like, you know, like, no, I gotta really do all that, you know, just make it nice and neat.
Do you iron? I would iron though. Like, I'm still an ironer. Like, I iron my shirt. Like, I don't want a wrinkled shirt and things like that. So I know I definitely would iron for a date. So that's part of the ritual.
It depends on how I'm dressed. Like, if I'm wearing a pressed shirt, then I'm typically wearing like a layer on top of that, like a jacket or something like that, like a dress jacket, and then like maybe some really nice jeans. But I generally don't wear a pressed shirt, because I like cross my arms a lot, and
and it gets wrinkled.
And it gets wrinkled, and it's like, okay, well, I just spent 15 minutes trying to get them creases out, and now I'm just put it right back in there. You know, so
Landon, what do you wear on a first date? What would you wear now to a first date?
Let's put a context in there. So going to a nice restaurant, and then another date going to a bar. Like if you're going to a restaurant for one date and then going to a bar for another one, what would you wear?
Here's the thing, and this is going to sound so crazy. I would probably wear maybe the same thing. Like my body gets hot like real quick. I'm a fitness instructor, like, so I need something that's gonna like allow my body to breathe. I do a lot of short sleeve, and so like long sleeve just does not really work for me. So maybe like a polo. I really like polos. A shirt, like a V-neck, like a shirt like this, some jeans and some nice shoes. I would never go I would never go out on a date to a bar. Like if it were like if we went to dinner and then we was like, oh, let's go grab a drink. Yeah. That's one thing. But I don't think that I could meet a guy at a bar.
Like as like the first step.
I used to meet guys for first dates at like Wang's and then hop over to what's the place? Do you ever go to
Wang's? Is different though. Like that's like a little moody little vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's a whole vibe. You know, like it's a cocktail bar. You know, with a little something special in the back. You know, for the dancing and whatnot.
Is Wang still there over there by the closet in Crew? Not Crew. What's the little store behind you, Landon? I'm telling all where you live. Damn.
Yeah, look out the window. Look out.
I don't. Next to that clothing
right
store,
across from Ping Pong.
Yeah.
Ping Pong.
I don't think so. Ironically, I literally just walked past there on my way home. I don't think so.
Okay, it might be gone.
That used to be my little spot.
And then they had that little dance room that used to get like nasty.
Exactly.
So wait, you know what? Going back to what Dewan. Okay, so if a guy was like, "Hey, do you want to meet for a drink at Marty's?" Number one, I already know that is not going to end well. We know. Okay.
Like, I'm glad this box is clean.
And community, if you don't know, Marty's is a martini bar in Chicago, but like it's a martini bar. That
you
shit.
cannot have more than two.
Girl, you get to that third, you ain't going. You're gonna be like Dewan last week. MIA.
That's a wrap. But yeah, like just depending upon like, I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be in clothes that make me uncomfortable, because then I'm going to get nervous and all that. But you know, going back to earlier, you know, dating is an experiment, right? It's not going to mean like you have to get with this person. You have to be interested. You know, it's okay to keep your standards high and your expectations low, and set that bar, you know, high for what you are looking for. All right. If they don't meet it, then you know what? There's some other bitch out there that will.
Yeah. No, that's a good advice, because I do feel like, and I probably felt that a little bit too, is like you go to a nice dinner and things like that, and you're like, I'm not quite feeling it all the way, but then there's the pressure to like some expectation, but like, oh, let me make sure I follow up. And no, you ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to get no damn second date.
These bills still gonna get paid whether somebody's interested or not.
Exactly. And it's just like, if you want to get off, maybe get off with them. But
yeah, I was going to say, there were some days that I'm like, I don't really like your personality, but I do want to see you naked.
Hell yeah. Especially like if you had already seen it naked and you're like, damn, your body nice. Like, I like to see
you can't talk for shit. Right.
It's like I'm not feeling the vibes, but I want to feel your body later. Let's go.
hurry up and suck down that spaghetti so we can get...
I know
so we can get busy.
Like, you done? You done yet?
You're ready to go. Look, we got things to do. Come on now.
That's right.
You got a shitty personality, but I will suck that dick.
Girl.
Know this,
period.
As you're talking in between the Marty's martini glass.
Right.
Okay.
That tickle pink. That's my go-to. The tickle pink at Marty's. Woo! Have many of them. Actually, that was like one of the first kind of few dates Corey and I went on too. Like our very first date was Au Cheval in Chicago, the burger joint there in West Loop. Yeah. And that's like when it was like brand new. Again, I'm aging myself. And before West Loop is like West Loop. That place is crazy now. And then that was when we walked down to, and I should have known Corey's humor then, talking out loud. But then we walked down to Harpo Studios because Harpo was still down there.
Right down there.
And then we just kind of like walked along the river walk and things like that. And the rest is fucking history. Here we are, married 2 years and together damn near 10. But anyway, that was a good question. I don't think we've ever really just talked about dating like that. So thank you. And they said we could say he said we could say his name. Felix. Hey, Felix. Thank you, boo.
Oh, hey, Felix.
Hey.
So, community, continue to
Great
send you ask your
question.
aunties. Absolutely.
Well, and
AYA.
follow up and let us know what rituals you're doing. Because I'd be really curious about that. You know, like, forget what we're doing.
I want to hear about that first date.
That part. And
I want to hear about that first date.
Give us
send us his IG handle so we can take a look. Hey, send your questions to AYA@minorityReport.com.